All right, let's go ahead and get started. We've got a great program today, but as a reminder, please silence your cell phones. If it goes off, it is now $20. I just made that up, $20. Jerry says it's okay. For guests and visitors, my name is Steve Fairley, Club President. I'd like to welcome you all to the 23rd meeting of the 48th year of the Dublin Worthington Rotary Club. Today's invocation and pledge of allegiance will be offered by Mr. Jerry Cass.
Who's way behind, so just
Been here since 10:30.
yeah. Mingle among yourselves.
I think Jerry should get a robe. He's done this so many times in the last few weeks.
Great.
I thought that was a stack of notes for the pledge.
I'll get a degree for Definity, and there I am. I'm unprepared because I'm a stand-in, and then I look at who's online, and there is an ordained minister looking at me. So I'm passing this off to Mr. Rice. Could you do it, Mr. Rice?
Sure. Yes. Let us pray. Oh God, we thank you for the gift of Rotary and the gift of this day. And we pray that you would bless our time together as we eat, as we talk, as we listen. Equip us to be better Rotarians, to serve you with imagination and creativity and caring. So thank you, oh God, for the gift of each member who blesses us. Help us to be a blessing near and far. Amen.
Amen. See what a degree will do for you. There you go. All right, now the pledge. I will do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America.
You know, they say teamwork makes the dream work. So thank you, Jerry.
President-elect Teresa Russell. And I wanted to announce it. My handful of guests with us today, starting first with David. He'll be giving us an announcement in a minute. He is our district governor-elect. And
ADG.
yeah, I mean, assistant.
Clap one.
Ready?
Yeah.
Assistant, excuse me. And then we have our speaker, and she's got some friends and relatives with her today. Ty will be introducing her.
Christy.
Or Christy, okay. And her brother Sonny and sister-in-law Sylvia are with us. They just moved up from Texas. And then we also have Nick, who's with us today, who is an arborist and is glad to be here with us today. I think that's all. Thank you.
Oh, okay, so full-fledged members there. Next, we have our sergeant. Where is he? Mike Moulton. There he is. I still love that beard. That's just beautiful. Something to aspire to.
Even better if I could color it. Yeah, should I color this? All right, good afternoon, great to see everybody. Harry, why don't you do me a favor? Grab the pot and take your smiling face around and show everybody.
Like
Hide all of them. Anybody have happy dollars? Oh, Don's got one back there.
I've actually got two happy dollars and a sad dollar. Sorry, introduce it. I'll do the sad dollar first because then the happy dollar brings back that. I have a mentor, Charles Horn, former state senator. He just passed away at the age of 98. His memorial service will be tomorrow, but I guess we can be happy that he lived a great life and had a huge impact on the state of Ohio and on the community. And I'm especially grateful for what he did in my life career. The happy hours first, we inaugurated Governor Mike White again. I got to see Jennifer Gus and her husband at the inaugural wall. And particularly the last couple meetings, the lunches have been really good. So I'm gonna throw out a happy double again.
Nice.
All right. Take a look.
Oh, I have a couple happy dollars. I got grandchildren coming to visit all the way from North Carolina this weekend, so we're good for them. I also have some sad news. Frank White, who was an honorary member, past member of our club, also as a Rotarian of the year, 1 year, passed away on the 10th. Funeral services are pending, so we'll have that announcement later. You may want to watch for the obituary. He was like 91, maybe 90.
Yeah, Frank has been had some health issues for probably going on 10 years now. George?
When Wixel and I just purchased tickets to go down to El Cruz, Mexico. And visit Dave, the Rotary Club there. We're gonna spend about 10 days down there in Denver.
All right.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Got any extra room?
I would be too. Well, probably could. Dave's a wonderful host.
I can fit in a suitcase.
There's two more
Teresa.
things.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna blow your mind with this one.
Oh,
I'm grateful to have my cell phone back. Because while we were at the gravesite for my mother-in-law's funeral on Friday, our cars were broken into. Credit cards, cash, and cell phones were stolen. A high-speed chase ensued down 23 and 315. We followed them and tracked them with the app on our phone. And they tossed our phones out. I'm grateful to have that back because my life is on my phone, as I'm sure many of you have. And so a happy dollar for that, and a happy dollar nobody got killed when they tried to open up the car door to get into the car with the guys that were taking our clothes.
all right.
We were at Resurrection Cemetery, a Catholic cemetery at 23. Lock your doors.
No, yourself. Don't take any of the other trees, Scar. We'll track you down. Okay, any other happy dollars? All righty, well, we'll get started here. Christie brought, I saw you here. All right. There's Christie. I saw your name in the news. Do you care to elaborate about the new bakery? Sure.
Yep.
Come on up. It only costs you $1. Free advertising. But congratulations, I
It's
think.
not
it's
my
all right.
bakery, so there may be some confusion. I did not make an official announcement to you guys, and I wasn't keeping it a secret, but I sold my coffee shop. So my coffee shop is Highline Coffee in downtown Worthington. It officially closed on the sale last week, and the new owner started operating this past Monday. It's continuing as Highline for a few months, and then we'll transition to the name of their other location, which is Kitty's Cafe. So it's still a coffee shop, but they'll have their own bakery brought in every day.
Thank you. Yeah, congratulations. I had to see the article on 614 magazine, so I thought it was common. Sorry, Christie, if I let the cat out of the bag. Anyways, who else we have here? Is Al Blue here? No, Al Blue, are you online, Al?
He's online.
Al, you and Darnell, you big prize winners from the raffle. So we'll get a $1 from you guys next time we see you. Who else we have? I was gonna get Ratman, neither one of those folks is here.
They're online.
Are they? They're online too.
Right.
We'll get $1 from them just for sitting with us. I enjoyed our conversation together. And I was gonna have Lala carry a pot around, because he's been all around the world, but he hasn't been all around this room yet. So I was gonna get it for that one. We'll catch him next time he comes in. Anybody in here? Other women are excluded from this. That doesn't have facial hair. If you don't have a good looking beard like that, throw a dollar. Huh? What do you think? Yeah, yeah, give me some of that. You people online too, don't think you're laughing, I saw you. All right. And then last but not least, I'm just gonna ask a question. Couple guys are excluded from answering this, and the charter members, you can't answer this question. Sam Miller, I see you back there. In any table in here, give me the names of 3 of the first 5 presidents of this club. One of them just passed away. Yeah, Frank White. Well, get an extra dollar from Jerry. Frank was not there.
Right down bar.
Frank was not a founding member. Anybody? Can you take a little even on that? Can you know? Do you?
I want your father.
Yeah, my father was on the first 5 presidents: Frank Dunbar, Lou Gorey, Don Moulton, George Banning, Tom Conway.
Whoa, Jack Pryor was.
Well, Jack Pryor was the first president. But after that, the next 5 after that. Did I not mention Jack?
They got us all together.
All right, here you go, George. I'll give you another one then. George brought up another one then, so. Who was, everybody throwing a dollar for that, for George bringing this up, because you're not gonna get this one. Who was the president of our club in 1997? There you go, get a dollar from all of them. Ken Newstrom. Ken Newstrom, 96. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, if anybody has any announcements, there should be a number of them, why don't you just start coming on up here? And we'll start off with our assistant district governor, Dave Dewey.
Good to see everybody. Welcome. Half the year is already gone. So for Steve, I guess that's like 3/4 of your year, right?
Yeah, right.
But Teresa's coming up next year. I just saw they announced the new theme for next year, Create Hope in the World. So that's coming up. So a lot of hope for you guys next year, Teresa. And I just want to say thanks for what you're doing. The club's doing a great job. Don't forget the 125 Club. You know, the world isn't getting any safer. There's a lot of needs. And what we do in Rotary through Polio Plus and through the foundation, your commitment to that 125 makes a big difference. So on behalf of Steve and the team, I just say, please make sure you make that happen this year. I think that's really important. And keep doing what you're doing. Thanks.
Thanks, Dave. First come, first served.
Okay, there's Super Bowl information on all tables, and I send annoying emails every week to remind you that it's February 4th. We are now up to 6 teams registered and 6 lane sponsors. That's a good start, but we need help. And people have told me I don't know bowlers, or I'm not going to be around that day. It doesn't matter. You know, charitably inclined people and charities. That is our marketing target this year. Is get the word out to all these people through emails, Facebook, etc. And let's try to get a sellout and make a little money for the club. It's in only 3.5 weeks. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Ro made an announcement last week, but our club is hosting the Rotary Fishing Weekend for our district the weekend of January 21st, and we are still looking for volunteers to help at COSI and then to be dinner hosts. So the dinner hosts will pick up students from COSI, take them, have dinner at home with their family, and then take them to the school for the overnight. And if you sign up to be a host, we'll give you some more details on that. And I do have a sign-up sheet to pass around. And then Steve also sent out a link to sign up via email if you want to check that out. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself, or you can reach out to Ro as well.
Perfect.
Yes.
Where are the incoming students from?
So I don't know off the top of my head where each of the inbounds are from. We are getting a list from the district that will tell us where all the students are from, and we'll have a list of that, but we don't have it today.
Perfect.
Yes.
So what I would ask, the community service committee will be meeting this coming Monday, the 16th, at Porky Chapman's home at 6:30 p.m.
Perfect. All right.
Make a note of that. Jennifer.
Yeah, I'm not on your list.
That's fine.
This is last minute. Some of you may have participated in this, but the Worthington Police Department offers a Citizens Academy every winter. It's 8 weeks on Wednesday evenings. And you learn about what police do and get to check out some of their equipment and really get to build relationship with our police department. This current winter session is the first since COVID. It starts next Wednesday, the 18th, and they do not have a full class yet. So they're looking for more participants. I put the applications out by the badges if anyone's interested.
Last couple items I have is raffle winners. Some of you have won, maybe you don't know you've won. But we've got, I think Harry, you won the Columbus Blue Jackets stuff, so let's figure that out, yeah. Darnell won the Bar Star set, I've already given that to him. Al Wu won the Scioto Golf outing, so Al, get with me about that. What else did I miss? The jewelry, who remembers who won the jewelry?
Tim Moats.
10 months, he's on here.
And the cozy cabin.
And then the cozy cabin was Jim Allen, yes. So Jim Allen, make sure you get the Katie McCartney. And then my final announcement is Public Image would like to just remind everybody that if you were at one of these great events that are coming up and you take pictures, please send them to myself and Christy, and if you could write 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 sentences so that we can use it in the newsletter or put it on social media to share the great work we're doing, we'd really appreciate it. And so with that, I think we're ready for our program. Christy's going to introduce our speaker.
Minnie, why don't you come on forward? Thank you. Some of you may have had an opportunity to chat with Ty. Ty, please wave in the back of the room. He has applied for membership in our club. He's attended a few meetings and a few social events. And he is the owner of Allure Realty in Worthington. So Minnie is the co-owner of their property management division called Allure Property Solutions. She is a physician from her home of India and came to the US in 2001 as a PhD student. She was then joined by her physician husband in 2005. They have 2 grown sons who are 27 and 19. She decided to be a homemaker in 2008, but in her words, that did not go so well. She always wanted to do something with a focus on contributing to society and to have a cause that she could pursue with passion. She started volunteering with a local organization, Sexual Assault Response Network of Central Ohio, in 2009, and is currently a contract survivor advocate manning their Ohio statewide helpline 3 days a week. Along with volunteering, she started to pursue an interest in real estate with the intention of building something that would make her financially independent and could grow into a legacy that her son could take over if it interested them. As she got more involved in real estate, she became acutely aware of the need of housing for low socioeconomic strata and the need for giving people second chances to start life fresh, of educating them on finances and how they should balance their income and expenses. She realized she had a platform where she could bring her volunteer work and her entrepreneurial skills together in one place to support people and families to make lives better. She's been supported along the way by Allure Realty and a group of investors who share her vision to maximize profits while maximizing benefits to the people they serve. Please welcome Minnie.
So you know what, in the introduction, she took away 3 minutes of my talk. So like she said, I'm a physician from back home, and then along the way, we decided to come here. It was a decision between the both of us, husband and me, and we were supposed to take my MLE and start here as a physician. But when I came here as a PhD student, I had my younger one, and I did not have the time for all the licensing exams and getting into board exams and to take the residency. So that's where when he joined me, I said, you know what, I'm done with medicine. I'm gonna stay at home and be with the kids, and that'll be it. But that was 2005, 2006, and then a year and a half later, I was like, that's not working for me. I need something more interactive. I need something more challenging here. I need to do something. I need to be productive. So that's where I started volunteering with American Red Cross. I became an instructor with them, and then I started working with a DD organization. But I still needed more, and that's when I started reading up on real estate. But New York was not a place for me to start working on real estate. So in the meantime, my husband finished his residency at Mount Sinai, and he got an offer from Ohio here. So in fact, I was in Florida for a while when my brother was there, but then it didn't work out. And then we moved here to Ohio in 2009. And that's when I started working with Sunco. And when I was a part of their hospital advocacy, where I would go to the ER and be with these survivors who were dealing with either interpersonal violence, domestic violence, or anything that they needed, sexual assaults, LGBTQ community. And that's when I acutely became aware of homelessness, how hard it was for these people to struggle, especially the youth, when they were getting out of the foster programs, and they did not have the support or the resources to stand up on their 2 feet and take the world on. They didn't have the vocational skills, they don't have the expertise on how to balance their finances. They were living from paycheck to paycheck. If they fall sick, they don't have money to pay the rent because they don't have the pay coming in. And that's where I saw the organizations stepping in and helping them. So I was becoming aware of all of these things, and one of my friends was getting her realtor license. So I discussed it with her, and I said, you know what, let's try it. Let's do something, in real estate and see how it goes. So at that time, I remember Benchmark Bank, which was later on taken over by Union Bank. So they had an auction on 2 properties, and we had the broker, I think it was Carlton Realty. So the broker, he took us for that auction, and we landed up buying 2 properties from Benchmark in that foreclosure auctions. And then it was a process of 1 year where I went through probably like 20 contractors, trying to vet them out, get something done. But I learned a lot in that 1 year, going through those different contractors, doing my, going through all the teething issues, learning through the mistakes and everything. 1 year later, we had both those properties rented for $600 and $650. And when I started talking about that with a couple of my friends, they looked at me as if I was crazy. They're like, you know what area that is, right? You know they carry guns, right? And I'm like, you know what? That probably is a small percentage. I can see that there are enough people out there who actually want to make a living, actually want to put in the hard work and need the due respect that they deserve. I said, I will give it a shot and I will see about it. So that's where I started expanding. So then we bought another 3 properties from Benchmark. Then it was a 4-unit, then it was an 8-unit. So that's where I actually started my journey, proper journey in as an investor. I didn't like the paperwork, so I never went into getting my license or my permit on the realtor agent. I let my friend do all the paperwork. And along the way, when my friends and their friends saw that, you know, I was working hard and it was working on all those grounds, that's where they said that, hey, you know what? We have some money sitting. Do you want to make it work? We would like to be a part of this. So that's where I started making an investor group who wanted to invest. And then along the way, as I was going, I also started coordinating with these organizations that I had seen help survivors in the Sanko group. And then when I reached out to them, I started understanding the process that they were doing on how they were supporting. So organizations like Salvation Army, the Shelter Board, Star House, then we have the St. Stephen's Church. I got in touch with them, I spoke with them, so they made me understand what the process was. So usually how it goes is that they pay a certain portion to the rent, they pay a certain portion towards the utilities, and it's gradually built up over a period of maximum 1 year, where the tenant or the client is able to take over the entire burden of the rent and the utilities. So that is where they were also looking to partner up with landlords who could help them place these tenants or clients into good places, and also promise that they would maintain these properties. Because there's all kinds of people out there. If you have good landlords, you have bad landlords too. If you have good tenants, you have bad tenants too. So they had a list of landlords, and I said, okay, you know what? I can offer my properties, I will offer mine, and I assure you that we should be able to make this work. So that's where the relationship started with all these organizations, especially the Columbus Metropolitan Housing, which, I mean, in today's day, they transitioned to third party, like the CGL that's taking over and transitioning, but they are way behind. They either have the delay is like in months, where the applications are put up and they have a waiting list for almost like 1,500 tenants who've been sitting there, have no place to go because the organization is ready to support them, but there are no people who are ready to be the landlords. And the reason is because of the documentation that's involved. It takes a while to do the documentation for them, go through the inspections, and then redo inspections on certain things, and then maintain it, and then a yearly later, they have re-inspections. So no landlord wants to waste that time. No landlord wants to have the units sitting vacant by the time these people will come in, do inspections, take their own sweet time to approve. But I said, you know what, I will work with it. I will work with it. It'll be worth it. So that was on the organization aspect of things. And then as far as the tenants were concerned, I put in place a protocol where we would vet these tenants. And I made it clear to the organizations. I said, you know what, I need you to be sure of the clients that you send my way, because I need individuals who are ready to put in the hard work. I will work with them. I will put payment plans in place. I will give them the space where if the organization is supporting and they need time to build in, I will work with them. But I need honest people. I don't want to work with people who are just going to exploit or try to figure out the loopholes in the system and take advantage. I'm not going to put them on my list. And that's what I eventually did. I have tenants today who are waiting for I have 3 tenants right now who are waiting for me to find 2-bedroom housing so that they can move into that. They are in 1-bedroom apartments, but they want 2 bedrooms, but they want me to be the landlords. be the landlord of those units or my investors to be. So these are tenants who have moved from one property to the other when I sold them. They know, they value me, I value them. So in property management, I think it's a relationship. It's not, a property management is not about collecting rents or doing maintenance requests. I think property management is about establishing a relationship with these organizations, with your tenants and with the investors, and then have a system going where everybody benefits. Everybody benefits out of it, and you are able to give back to the community. And that is where I came across the word social enterprise. And I said, yes, that is a perfect philosophy for my company. And we coined it as Allure Property Solutions. And 5 years back, that's when I met Ty, and he had Allure Realty. And I thought that Allure Realty was more than a brokerage, because that was the philosophy that he was running it on. How to help people, how to educate them on their finances, how to balance their sheets and give back to the community. So on those lines, we started working, and today we have almost 70 doors under me where we do the property management. We have 7 investors. We have 7 investors who buy and sell and are looking to add more properties on their portfolio. They give me the space where I can work with these tenants, where I can work with these organizations and take the right decisions for them. They are looking to add more, and at the same time, the organizations have me on their list where they are ready to work with me and provide me with those clienteles who they feel they've vetted out at their end, who are ready to either work towards getting good jobs and turn around their life, or are already but seeking support for a little bit of a transition where they need that help. So right about when the COVID started, at that time with St. Stephen's Church and the Worthington Country, we did a fundraiser, and I raised money as well as we sourced fabric, and then a couple of our friends got into right from sourcing the fabric to sewing the mats and delivering those mats. And we were able to deliver almost 6,000 mats at that time. And we were able to raise funds close to $15,000, where with St. Stephen's, we distributed food to different other organizations, especially Fresh Reviews. I was working with the Linden community, and we were able to provide help on the food and canned food and whatever was needed at that. We even did a diaper campaign at that time, and we worked with an organization, and we gave almost close to like 3,000 packages of diapers of different sizes at that time. So working on all of those, I mean, those things, I felt that this was a good way where the company can earn profits, but those profits are used towards social benefits where you give it back to the betterment of the community as well as, and what is a better way to work or to earn or to be financially independent, but at the same time, give it back to the people. So pretty much that's how we are working. And then going forward, along with Allure Realty, my aim is if we could have more investors who align with our philosophy, where they would want to use their money to earn profit, but at the same time, give it back to the community in some shape or form, whether it was helping us establish some resources for these people or provide properties to rent them out that way. And syndication is another way that we are looking at, because both of us, Ty and I, are keen on getting into new builds and development. So if we could do syndication, then we would need people to partner up with us and help us build on that. And the organizations are already ready with us. We already have 2-3 organizations who are ready to help us on the front end with the loans and all of that, and facilitate homeownership programs. When we talk about homeownership programs, banks, it's like a cycle over there with them, with the credits and the taxes. And these people don't fit into those brackets. They don't qualify with good credits, they don't have tax returns to prove their worth, and banks are not ready to take risks. But we have assured, we've been assured by 2 banks who say that if we are ready to do syndication and we get into development, and we have tenants who are ready to get in, and we can do seller financing and take the burden for a year or 2, they will help those tenants, those clients build up their credits and then take over them, provide them with those loans. So that's a good thing if we could make that work, because I know right now I have 4 or maybe 5 tenants who told me, who requested that if I could buy properties for them and sell finance it for them. But I said, you know what? I'm working with banks and I'm trying to figure this out. So just bear with me. And they've been waiting for almost 2 years now. So if we could have the help of the committee in building up on this and expanding on that, I would greatly appreciate it. And thank you again. Thank you, everybody, for hearing me tonight.
Okay, will you take questions?
Yes. Oh, okay.
Anybody have questions?
Yes.
Yeah, how many properties are you working with at present?
Right now I have 70 doors approximately, and then, so these are investor, some of them are mine, some are in partnerships, some are of the investors that I have, 7 investors. Each of them have like 5 or 6 each. And then we have our own in-house crew who are, two full teams that work full-time with me. And they are licensed contractors on all aspects. They can do anything and everything as far as building the homes are concerned. So all maintenance requests are taken care of by them.
And how many units?
How many?
How many units?
So 70 doors, yes, 70 doors. Some are single family, some are multi-unit apartment buildings. Yeah, and so as far as the investors are concerned, what we offer them is that right from screening properties and then helping them get them rent ready, or if a property needs a full rehab, we even do a full rehab for them and get it ready. So on both aspects, if it's a maintenance, and if they need me to just do the property management, then I get my percentage on it and I keep maintaining the property. If they buy a property that needs a full rehab on it or a partial rehab on it, based off of that project, I have my percentage, and then the property is ready, screening tenants and putting the tenants in there. So we offer everything pretty much. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people have rental properties that go through metropolitan housing and they have subsidized housing. And they get hurt because the houses get damaged and destroyed. And you, in your discussion, you've had really good success. What makes your situation different? Some people don't want to take that chance on subsidized housing rental person.
So like I said, I have a relationship with the organization and I have the tenants lined up. Like right now, I have 0 vacancy on my rental units. But I get calls from the organization, I get calls by the word of mouth. Tenants who have been with me for a couple of years and they value me, they spread the word of mouth, and I have them call me and say, hey, my so-and-so is looking for a unit, do you have it? So I save those numbers. But if I have a unit vacant, I just send out like a mass email to like 7, 8 of these organizations. And I say, I have this vacant as of this date, send me your clients. And the caseworkers know me personally, I meet up with them, I tell them very up. And the other important aspect is that when I take a client from them on board, I maintain an open communication, a transparent communication. An email or a text message is established where the tenant and the caseworker is on it. Time to time, I update both parties, letting them know what's going on. That way, because I've had, and that was my initial experience where a tenant would badmouth me. And then the caseworker would think the other way. And then I realized I didn't know. This needs to be cleared up. And that's where I established that communication. And I tell the caseworkers upfront that if you are in communication with this particular client, you are going to get a constant update from me, whether the rent is being paid on time or the property is being maintained on time and be getting done, because I do quarterly inspections. And those inspection reports, you take a picture and you send it to them, so they know what's going on.
Yes.
You mentioned the listed area. Can you give us an idea of primarily the areas that you have residents in?
So majority of the properties are in the 43211 zip code, that is near the campus. Between, if you're familiar with the exit, how do I say, Weber and Hudson, if you're going towards, that's on the right hand side, that's it. Then you have the 43224 zip code, a portion of 43219 where it's behind the airport, that area. On the west side, it's 43223. And then Franklinton, also certain portions of Franklinton, that's what's coming up. Downtown, German Village, that's where certain properties, certain roads over there are with the Columbus Metropolitan Housing. These areas majorly.
So in the recent 6 months, I've really struggled with the moral implications of real estate and landlords, especially as it seems that there's a lot of corporate money coming in to buy Airbnb homes and just other investor groups. And it seemed like one of those things that maybe people consider human rights, like shelter and food, and people are out there just trying to squeeze as much profit out of them. It really kind of made me upset. So to hear that you viewed it as a social enterprise, it's really kind of changed my thoughts on it. But my question is, how do you feel about kind of the macro sense across the country of, it seems like the top 50% is going to own the housing that the bottom 50% rent from, and there's really no way to get out of that paradigm. Can you speak to that at all?
Right, and that's where I was discussing with Ty and my brother that we have to work towards a home ownership program. We have to make, and it's not that these people are not capable of it. These people are capable of it. They just need somebody to stand by them and support them for the initial time. Like I said, because of the mistakes that they've committed when they were young or for whatever reason, we have million things happening in our life where we take wrong decisions. But those wrong decisions should not put us down in a way that we are never able to be getting a second chance. And people have spoken with me about it, and they say that, and they have paid me on time every single month for years. So if they are keen on getting into home ownership programs, but the banks are asking for good credit, or if the banks are asking for tax returns, they don't have that because they give cash to cash. But they have savings. They are ready to give me 5% down. They're ready to do 10% down. But then the bank wants somebody's neck to be there for at least a year by the time that credit is reported to the banks, and then they are ready to take the risk. So I said, okay, you know what? I will work with an investor base. I will come up with the funding and we will get this done. So that's what my aim is, that if I can, because when I spoke to the Columbus Metropolitan Housing about the home ownership program, they deferred it, they declined it. They said, we cannot have landlords as seller financing because there is a big chance of exploitation there. And I agree with that. I mean, landlords who are out there just to make money will let these people out of it on those programs. So I said, okay, you know what? Let's see what we can do about it. We'll try to work it out. So that's where I reached out to FC Bank and one other bank and even Union Bank. They said, we will work with you as long as you're ready to take the risk of a year, maybe two, and then we will take on. So I said, okay, we'll work this out. Yes.
Yeah, we have a foundation that works with folks who, for one reason or another, in a crisis, and we want to help them out. And many of those requests that come in because of health issues, whatever, are now reporting to us that one of the big issues they're having with rent is that they're forbidden to, by their landlord, to use a third party. And it's obviously, and they go with very short-term leases of 60 days,
Yeah.
et cetera.
Correct.
And first of all, what do you think about that, Cory? And secondly, do you think Columbus needs to, and Franklin County needs to move to a more renters' rights type of legal stance in terms of, and what would be the things you suggest?
True, see, landlords the amount of paperwork that gets involved when you're doing third-party reimbursements is quite big. And then to keep a track with these organizations, like for example, Impact right now had a lot of federal funding. And when they had federal funding, they had a bunch of applications. And in that process, what happened was, because a couple of my tenants were involved in those applications, I had tenants who waited almost 6 months and Impact did not pay because they were not able to catch up on those applications. And I had investors on my case because they are behind by 6 months. And I know that it's not the tenant's fault, it's the third party organization that is defaulting here. So I had no choice but to file eviction. And then when I had to file eviction, the tenant is getting mad with me because I am aware of it. So those are the kind of things that deter the landlords from getting into third party leases. That's a very important. And then as far as short-term leases are concerned, there are a bunch, no, I would say quite a bit of out-of-state investors who buy properties in Columbus because the numbers work out, because the cash flow is there on the paper. They never come here, they never see the property. It's the realtor who buys it and maintains it for them. I've bought properties where the realtor or the property management company has never been on the property. They have no clue what's going on. So those investors prefer to have short-term leases. They don't have to maintain those properties. Tenants come and go. I'm aware of an investor here who runs a big complex as a hotel on a daily basis rate. It's not even on a day, not even on a short-term lease. You're aware of that. So I had a tenant call me last week when that latitude issue, the complex came up from the code enforcement. So the tenant calls me and says, hey, you know what? My daughter is in that complex and I am aware that this and this is happening. Can you please go by that complex? And I'm like, what? She's like, I am really, really requesting you. And I'm, okay, can you give me the address of the property that you're talking about? We see what we can do about it. And I got, and I don't know if you guys are aware, on that particular complex, they had water pipes burst, they had the elevator that stopped working, they had to move out 150 tenants to hotels and shelters, and they have still not been able to place them. And the organization sent out an email 2 days back, reaching out to us, saying that if you have any vacant units, we would like to work with you because we need to place these 150 tenants, not just single tenants, these are families who were, the day of Christmas, they were moved out of their apartments. So majority of these, and I don't know who the owner of that complex is. We have another landlord who is here, who we've been negotiating, we've already bought a property from him, but we are negotiating with him on another complex. He's done the same thing. He has been owning that property for 20, 30 years. He's not put a dime in it. Not a dime. And they want top dollar right now. So all kinds of people out there. Good tenants, bad tenants, good landlords, bad landlords. It's a question of what your philosophy in life is. And hard work always pays. Due diligence always pays. And I think giving back to the community, the gratitude, the satisfaction of the work that comes, doesn't come in. Yes. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Excellent presentation. As is tradition, before we wrap up, we have our raffle. Or
We do, we've got $19 for the daily
$19.
and Dick, why don't you pick a number?
Dick, I hope you win, so you can just put one more dollar in and turn your fine over to Jerry. What's going on?
The last four numbers are 8, 7, 5, 9.
875.
So the next one.
And finally,
Let's suck it out.
and for and the big travel money is $343.
$343 in the ace of spades.
And the last four on this is 8, 7, 5, 0.
8750. See you
We're gonna take you to Vegas for this, baby. I know this is not.
Nice. Close. I'm
a loser. I'm still a loser. Good call, thanks.
All right. 3 minutes still. If you would join me in the recitation of the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, and do. First, the truth is the truth. Second, third, and fourth. Thank you, everybody. Please remember to turn your cell phones back on unless you're dead below it. It's already on. And have a great rest of your week. Remember to return your badge.
All right. Just having some fun.
You gotta use it.
No,
Otherwise you lose.
That's right.
Yeah.